All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Here we are, game number 2 now, game 3, excuse me, coming at you here on Honcast. Of course, this is the losers bracket round 1 matchup here, and we're tied at 1 game apiece. So that's what we got here, and looking forward to seeing which team will move along here in the losers bracket. Take a look at the brackets here and what things are looking like. Of course, into this week in Complexity versus Sync, going to be the following match here on Honcast, that being from the winners bracket finals, of course. So back to this one, though. I'm joined by Near once again as my co-caster here. And here we are into the draft. So, again, with the patch just hitting and everything, like I said, it's still very new to, even though a lot of changes happen, it's still, understandable if teams, players want to go with what they know best for now, at least. And we've been seeing that for the most part. A couple of impacts here and there, and here we go. A little bit more there. Magnus into Meraxis, Lodestone into Kinesis, and there's Sandwraith coming out. Now, again, this hero especially has been getting a good amount of attention with that mock change. So I'm very interested to see how it does here with a skilled carry such as Probusk having his hands on it. But what do you think about this draft here, Near?
It's interesting that BMG picked the same heroes, but this time they banned the Wild Zone, thinking, okay, this lineup kind of works with these heroes combination. They are pretty good, but this time we get rid of the Wild Zone and we stick to what we know works. But at the same time, this is the first time that they give up Sandwraith. I think that hero was banned the last 2 times, and Wild Zone was not. So they had this Lord first banned, I think, the last 2 games as well, and then this time they swap it around with a Wild Soul band instead of the Sandwraith, and Probusk picks the Sandwraith right away. So that's interesting. And this time they go with the Doctor, so this looks like a really, really active lineup on the Hellpoint side. Of course, when you play this against a Sandwraith, you have to make sure that you don't dive too deep, and then Sandwraith comes in and ultis and picks up a couple of hero kills.
Yeah.
So you need to be patient with your lineup, or in control at least, or how you put it. So, yep.
Now,
no say pickup though.
Well, actually, let's keep it on Dr. Pulsar for a second here. Now, the Lightbrand Grimoire, that item got changed a bit, and I think the overall consensus is that it's a little worse now in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility it could be ever seen on a hero like Doctor, or is it just not that good now?
I'm not really sure how it works with him, because he uses a bit of mana all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you click ulti and then you use 2,000 mana, if your next attack does 1 million damage, or if it's only like 1 extra damage.
That's
so I'm
a
not
good
really
point.
sure how that works. Yeah.
Huh.
If it does 1 million extra damage, I guess it could be a funny item, kind of, but I don't think it's competitively viable then. I think that item has been a bit worse, and I don't think we'll see it be picked up unless they buff it again. That's my opinion of it. Unless there's some hero that does really well with it, but I can't really see which hero it should be.
Yeah.
So,
it's tough because
Yugi? I don't know.
Well, I think Wretched Hag. I think Wretched Hag, because the idea of using it for that 20% now increased damage, and then you bat blast, you Sonar Scream, you do a good amount of burst, and she's a hero that is going to be using maybe with the Blink and the Sonar Scream, a bit of mana constantly to get some decent auto attacks off. So I think Hag is probably the most relevant that comes to mind. But again, you can still argue that is that even still that great on her in the end. So.
When you picked up on her before, it was kind of like a farming tool, and then you got your sheepstick and the rest of stone and shrunken head and all that, and went really hard carry. And now it's like you pick it up as an extra damage source output. I'm not really sure if that's what you want for 5,000 gold like that. If you get late game, maybe I haven't tested it myself, of course, but is something like a Savage Mace better than compared to if you just want auto attack damage? So
yeah,
I'm not sure. It's a little bit interesting. I haven't messed around with it too much. My initial thoughts are just the item got worse, so I don't think it will be picked, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Moving on with this game here, we saw the bands of Parasite, Empath, Deadlift, Tempest, Aluna, and Moira coming out here. Some more along the lines of supportish, a couple of junglers in there. You got Puppet Master, though, picked up by Fresh over here. So, of course, they already have their carry in Sandwraith, but they like a secondary carry to go along with that here. Puppet Master. Engineer in response for BMG, though. Did Engineer get changes? I don't think he did, from what I remember.
I think so
No,
either.
there's no change.
Maybe the mines a bit. I'm not really sure. No, nothing, right?
Nope.
Okay. The hero's still the same though. It's pretty strong. It's also if you're fighting at one place and you pop up the energy field and stand with ultis, it's not always slows the illusions. But if he wants to port in, he has to make sure that the hero he ports into is not directly in the energy field, unless he pops a shrunken head first or something. And usually you don't see those shrunken head builds on Sandwave anymore. It's more the Rest of Stone, Mark Rest of Stone builds. So definitely it works in a bit in that sense. And Engineer is also just all around good support. Kind of like the hero. It's a bit interesting to me that we don't see it more. But also nice follow-up stun, has more damage, and the energy field can always cause a lot of problems for the enemy team.
Yeah.
And Andromeda comes out for the Legion side. Always a strong support, has a lot of early game gank potential and zoning potential as well. Of course, if he's against Meraxes, he is probably going to be Kinesis. He doesn't have as much range as him and has a hard time zoning him out. So that's going to be tough. But paired with a Puppet Master, they definitely have the kill potential.
And Xenophilia with the final pick. Again, it still takes a little bit to get used to the fact that BMG's picking up these junglers now, but obviously with Teltook, that's what really opened up the doors for them. So they got Ophelia, and last pick Ophelia, I think usually is a pretty good one to have. So.
But at the same time, I think Busk's team over here is gonna, or Fresh, is gonna do the man up tri-lane. They have the Puppet Master and they have the Sandwave. So Sandwave's probably gonna solo, get as much as he can against whoever he's playing against. If it's gonna be a solo Kinesis, then Kinesis is gonna have a wonderful time for sure. And right off the bat, we see Fusion TPing top with a ward, so he wants full information of what exactly Busk's team is doing.
There you go. He gets that ward of sight down. Almost expecting to see mines, honestly, on him. Getting that TP and porting out here. I mean, get a mine trapped. I mean, why not, really?
It could be fine, honestly, because I think you can get 3 down, but then you need your entire team to be here, and you need to be 100% certain that they are going to walk up here. Which, it's 90% chance that they will. So, of course, you could put those, but in the event that they do not get a kill, then he's stuck with mines until he hits level 2, and then he's a non-factor in the lane. So it's a high-risk play, and with a reward, I would say.
All right. So Fusion's a boring player, is what you're saying.
Well, they did it to us at DreamHack. I'll never forget that, where they TP top, and then they put the mines down, and they got a double tap from that.
Oh, yeah.
So I will never forget that, though, and it worked for them there.
There you go. That's the reason enough to do it then, damn it. No, but not doing it here. Instead, it gets that ward down just for vision purposes, and they are going to see Magnus at least up here.
And actually, if he did it here, it would have been a bloodbath right here. So
should have done it, man. I mean, we got hindsight to work with now, sure, but no, we were saying it before. At least that was. So that would have been fun to see.
What could have also happened was all 5 ran up there, and then there would only have been 2 or 3 mines, and then one guy would have tanked those and run out, and then that could have also happened. So
yeah. Well, they see the Magnus up here. As a result, they're going to send Meraxes and Engie up here. So they are going to essentially run a pseudo tri-lane. They send Doctor middle, and then of course Kinesis in his suicide role, being played by Boxy. But expecting a little bit of action up here at the top lane. It seems like the Legion side perhaps in a little more control here.
Yeah. I would say the difference this time is the Legion. This time they can keep Meraxes to 100 or less GPM if he doesn't hit those axes. So this time they can deal with him, make sure he doesn't get much. At the same time, Doctor has a really good time in the mid lane against the Sandwave, I would say. So it's going to be good for him. And Kinesis should have a really good time as well. So the 2 solo lanes should do really well. And it's really going to come down to if they will die up top or not. If they don't feed early on here, on Hellborn's side, I think they're going to come out ahead, really. It's going to be really good for them. So, we'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's worth noting there. I got to props to chat for that one, bringing that up real quickly, is that Cersei wasn't banned here as a support, and BMG then went with the Engineer instead, so... see if that comes back to haunt them or not. Obviously, the downside of a Cersei is that her laning presence is fairly weak.
Yeah.
Compared to any other support.
Sure. They did buff it actually with half a second longer on the Q, but it's still not a targetable ability. So level 1 it stuns or kind of immobilizes you for 1 second, or for 2 seconds I mean, instead of 1.5.
Yeah.
But the hero is still underwhelming in the lane. They definitely have more kill potential with the engineer here.
That is for sure. And as usual, we happen to see an engineer nowadays. I know we were kind of talking about the mines at level 1 even, but I wonder if he's going to go mines here, or if he'll insist on getting that turret instead and going the keg in the turret. What is your... we've probably talked about it before. Well, what is your opinion on that?
I know Shuriken loves the mines. I still think the turret is way better. It's guaranteed damage. The mines, yeah, sure you can E and then you can make it blow up right away, but it's just the slow is way better, I think. At least give it level 1, and then if you're having a good start, just give it level 4 and then see where it goes from there.
Doctor, he's in trouble. Couple more auto attacks, there we go. Down he goes, Sandwraith. Credit for it. That's probably the worst case scenario, obviously, if you're this Hellborn side. Buddy Lover, yeah. Big thanks for that kill. He came over on the roam, and Doctor just wasn't ready for it.
This should not happen, honestly, especially because Andrew did not have an invis or anything. He's actually, speaking of, he's going to pick up one up here. And they should know someone's missing. They have a lane ward up here. And, that's... I don't know. It really hurts them, because now that can snowball for them, for sure. And the Pro Boss got the Bloodlust. He has the bottle here. He can pick up the invis, give it to Andromeda, and he can walk bottom and make something happen there.
Top lane. Well, of course, they know he's missing now. They're going to try for a play at the top lane, but you see right there, weren't really able to get the best angle, and obviously a Vulture Lord is not necessarily the most craziest, powerful for Ophelia for setting up ganks there. Would have preferred a Minotaur, or Catman Champion, even a Skeleton King, but neither of those. And ends up coming short. Bottom lane, in trouble is Kinesis. He got the Stasis Smash on Andromeda, trying to avoid right here. You see him tanking up there with the shield of the Inherent Defense, and he's going for a turret actually, but it's not going to be enough. Lodestone comes in with a head smash and does him in. I mean, we've seen many of times Boxy, especially on Kinesis, get turn kills like that. I thought we were honestly going to see another one, but he came up short.
Yeah, huge plays from Bunny Lover. No boots, roaming Andromeda, getting kills in the mid and the bottom lane here, where BMG was supposed to be winning by a pretty substantial amount of farming levels here. So nice for him getting those, and at the same time they don't loot die top. So that's what you want.
Man, Sandwraith here, he's obviously got the Bloodlust kill to work with as well, but he's upwards of 390 gold per minute now, and he did choose to go that Iron Shield first now. Of course, he even gets a bottle on top of that, being middle lane here. Not typical, you know, if he's in the short lane at least, but being the middle lane figures it's necessary. But yeah, you gotta think that Mach, though, especially with the buff to it, is definitely 100% coming here for his first item choice.
Yeah, I think so. I actually get confirmation that the Doctor ulti with Grimoire does not work, so that's unfortunate.
Well, isn't there like an initial mana cost that you need to be able to use it, I think? So I wonder if it's that initial mana cost is like what you get out of it, which is basically nothing, essentially. Sandwraith, by the way, where's he going? He's going bottom lane. They're trying to go Kinesis down here, and they will be successful. He do have the Stasis Smash, but it just didn't matter. Even with that reduced damage there. The Shadow Storm and Sandwraith assisting just too much. And look at Pro Boss. He goes back to the middle after getting that kill, or the assist at least.
I really like what they're doing here. I mean, they were trialing it top, but now they can actually sustain themselves pretty well in the top lane, off lane here with just 2 heroes. Pabadas 260 GPM. They don't have to do anything because they know BMG is 3 heroes up here, and then they can just focus on the mid and bottom. And so far, the Andromeda has had a huge impact in doing so.
That's big here for the Legion side. Things across the board looking pretty good. 1,500 gold lead right now. You see Moraxis, he's 240 GPM, just trying to stay alive and get a little bit of something at least. So yeah, to answer my own question, I guess, as far as the Doctor Repulsor, the ultimate, it does require the 15 mana initially, and then it's plus 7% of your max mana. So yeah, I really wonder if it actually would just be that 15 mana, which is obviously nothing really.
35% of 15. It's not a lot.
I mean, granted, you can do it pretty frequently, but still, it's just, it really doesn't seem like that good a synergy. So yeah, probably not on him. Moraxis, okay, he's going to be fine. That was close there, but manages to live, and probably because Puppet wasn't level 6 yet. Voodoo Puppet, that's probably a dead Moraxis, but not enough there.
Sure. Andromeda is walking back up here. Puts the D-word down, gets that. I mean, he's doing a lot of work, but I'm not sure if this is the right move to get up here, because Moraxis is really hard to kill level 6. And even killing an engineer at this point, I'm not sure if that's really the target he wants.
Oh, here comes a clash from the Hellborn team. They want kills out of this. They're going to at least maybe get Andromeda. Nice job with the Axis. Good job with the blocking of the creeps as well. And Andromeda pretty much knows that he is dead right here. Puppet Master hung around a little too long. That might cost him his own life. They're going to dive this tower. Magma stunts in. You see Moraxis popping that Matrix, though. Tanking the tower. Kinesis still trying to chase further, but Magma's going to avoid it. Now here comes Sandray throughout all the chaos. But he quickly falls back as he started to get a little low himself. So that dive, pretty aggressive there from Bad Monkey Gaming. Unfortunately, do not get much out of it. I guess they did get a response, though.
They got the Andromeda kill, and Sandrift ulti is used, so I think that's pretty good for them. I think Andromeda should just keep going back to mid and bottom, and just let those two heroes, Magnus and Puppet, stay top on their own. Just keep focus onto the Doctor and the Kinesis. Because else BMG up here, that's where they want to fight. This is where they're the strongest.
Sandray, he's going to port back to the middle lane, and he did finish Steam Boots and everything, so yeah, he's now going to be working towards that sort of the high here, probably. Unless he wants to even get something like an Energizer here, which, you know, from us does have the history of getting a little more stats earlier on, but taking straight into that mock would make the most sense. An item, being on track of the patch 3.8 here, another item that I wanted to bring up is one that, you know, one of the cheaper ones, I think the cheapest one that was introduced, in fact, the Soul Trap item. Is that an item that you could maybe see, or do you think it's going to be time at least before? As actually we do have initiation middle lane. And Lodestone, he went in first with the Shadow Storm, but Doctor reacted. The stomp misses from Moraxis, though. So it kind of just ends up being an awkward initiation that doesn't really get anything out of it there. Somewhat wasted.
Soul Trap,
yeah,
you were talking about?
But
right?
Soul Trap, yeah.
I think it's a pretty strong item, especially early on. If you know you get those hero kills and then you know your team is getting regen again, it's kind of like that Astrolabe idea, I think. And you get a bit more tanky. I kind of like the item. I'm not really sure how strong it is compared to something like an Astrolabe, or on top of that, or something like that. So it's definitely an interesting item, and it might be something we see more of. Maybe not right now, but at least for the next cycle, I think. If people think it's really good, then it's gonna be picked up for sure.
Yeah,
it has potential.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those possible items eventually, exactly as you're saying there, where this week, you know, maybe not. It's a little too new that people just aren't really sure about it yet. I think Blood Chalice is kind of still an item that they would prefer in the end, but maybe something to expect moving forward. But yeah, we see here, haven't seen any hints of it today. At least it's been the third game here, the same series. Triple Stack Ancients on the Legion side. Wonder if.
Yeah. But when you use it, just to be 100% sure, I haven't used it myself. It's when you use it on someone, you gain basically like a health pot, right?
It's a little weaker than a health pot, but yes, essentially that's the idea of it. Yes.
That's the idea of it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah. On top of, you know, a pushing lineup, I could see it work, especially with Astrolabes and stuff, and then you win a fight or something, and then you can just use that, and you get back up there in terms of HP. But it is still 1,000 gold, so it might be too much. I'm not sure. So, as you said, we might wait and see.
Magnus, he's gonna be able to stun away right here. Kinesis, he did use mass control, but unfortunately came up short. So Magnus, I think that was a failed route Dr. Repulsor. Unfortunately came exposed, and Magnus saw it at the last second. So good reaction on his part. And able to avoid death right there. As Lodestone sitting in the trees here middle lane, could definitely be some action. They tried a couple times. Doctor's been pretty good at reacting, though.
Yeah. Like what they're doing now, they're switching Doctor into the jungle, the Puppet into the jungle, abandoning top lane because there's really no business going there anymore, and make sure that Sandray farms, and Kinesis bursted down the Andro. If he didn't use the mass control earlier, he would have had the kill there, so it's unfortunate for him. He does have a word out here, and he sees the Lodestone.
Is that close enough? Yes, it is. God, the range on the head smash, I feel like it's longer than it should be. He's like, he stretches that neck out, man.
I think it's also because the animation is pretty far or pretty long, so he stops up and then he uses that animation, and then it looks like the hero runs away, and it looks like it's further than it might be. So yeah. Well, they do get a top tier 1 in the response here, but I don't think they're feeling that great. I mean, Boxy has really not been able to land any really good mass controls this game so far, or the last one. So I think he's a bit frustrated with how things are going, and Sandwave is firing 360 GPM. He got the bloodlust, hasn't died yet, so I think they're feeling a bit. Yep, here they go.
Middle lane, Probuski goes down. I'm watching this top push happening. TP's going to be canceled wherever that was. So yeah, they end up killing the middle lane of Doctor, and Kinesis taking out Sandwraith right there. And Doctor's not done just yet. I mean, he has that regen rune still on him. Now the tower is going to be denied. Meanwhile, bottom tower goes down, and so does the top tower, being a secondary one. So all 3 lanes having a bit of action right there. Very safe to say, though, BMG definitely feeling good about the outcome. And actually, Doctor, he still has the regen. Okay, it is going to finally end right there, but he's setting up top. Lodestone was nearby. In fact, he's going to run uphill now. Uh-oh, he's going to run right into Engineer right here. Now, who's going to react first is the question. Lodestone, he's being patient, different guy. He's waiting for the right time. He's going to get locked down, though. And can he get the rocket drill? No, he cannot get it off. Down he goes. Magnus is able to stun away and survive at least. But you can tell BMG now, they're getting that roam going. 2,300 gold. And, oh, my gosh, there's the light brand on Baltazar. So he likes it. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
it doesn't work on the ulti.
But so maybe we're overthinking it. I mean, just because it doesn't work on the ulti, he does use his abilities quite frequently, and he is about that auto attack with the passive. So it is enhanced damage ultimately. I mean, it is.
Okay, so he puts down a Q. It costs 100 mana. Then his next auto attack is gonna deal plus 35 damage.
Yeah.
Then he's gonna ulti. He gets plus 8 damage or something, and then hit someone again, and then press W. That's plus 35 again, and then you have another Q. So then usually you don't have that much more. So the item in total is gonna give like plus 100 damage. I don't know. Outside of the stats, of course.
Yeah. Obviously, you figure, you know what, he could be going for differently. Is actually Lodestone. He got caught going for the rune right here. Doctor got it first, though. That double damage rune trying to finish off. No, he can't go. Or he goes down actually as Puppet Mash with the Voodoo Puppet burst him. Now they did kill Lodestone, but taking somebody with them. Good job by Samwraith, by the way, avoiding the stomp from Meraxis. And Meraxis kind of in panic mode, just trying to stomp and run away, and obviously comes up short. So a 2-for-1, definitely in favor of Fresh there. However, bottom tower does go down for BMG, so getting something positive out of it here. But Sandwraith, 2,700 gold saved up now. So he is getting there.
He's looking good. That was a huge swing for them. Getting 2 kills on the 2 cores there, and then, you know, Sandwraith getting involved in both of them. And he needs 400 for the sort of the high here. They didn't change the cost on the item, did they? Nope, they didn't. It's still the same. So, yeah. Kinesis trying to catch him, but...
Oh, Doctor can assist. There we go. That light brand doing work there.
Yep, 137, so... yeah, it's plus those extra 35 there per Q and W he used.
Uh-oh, Puppet. He's going to be caught here at the top lane. That's a portal key from Meraxis, of course, making use of it. So good catch there, and a couple of kills now, and now 5,000 gold lead for BMG, actually. I want to say their biggest lead of the game so far.
From about minute 10 here to minute 20, that's where their lineup is the strongest. That's where they have to make plays with the Doctor, with the Ophelia, with the Meraxis portal key now as well. And Kinesis could also buy one if he so desires. Yeah, he does. So this is where they have to be active. They have to win the game right now. They have to bring the pressure to Fresh, and let's try and win the game right now. Because if they gave the time to Sandwave to farm the Mark of Brilliance, they're gonna be in a bad spot, really bad spot. So they have to make some plays right now, especially also because Lodestone does not have the portal key. Neither does Magnus, and Puppet doesn't have the shroud yet. He doesn't have that many items, so they have to bring the pressure right now.
Yeah, God, I would be really. Again, the new Grimoire, it's definitely one of those, like, we need somebody that, like, just is good at math and kind of lists things out. Because, like, I'm just thinking about it through my head, and in ways, it is stronger than before. As actually we do have jump here at the bottom rune. That's a big jump from Lowstone. That's a level 2 Shadow Storm. It goes off. Engineer, he got the energy field down, but he died shortly after. Miraxis, he swapped back in as he tried to run out, but that Matrix is up, keeping him alive for the time being, and actually going to help set up some turn. Doctor flies in with the regen rune. It is going to wear off right there, but he's going to pick up Puppet Master at least. As yes, he does successfully. The Voodoo Puppet on him, though. Meanwhile, it's just Andromeda. All of a sudden, that's up, and that's a finish on her. And a genocide in favor of Bad Monkey Gaming. They lost 2, but they come out big time. I was focused on kind of one part of that fight. Well, the other part of it, they were cleaning up.
Yeah. It comes back to, as I said, they're really strong right now. Even if they have a really good jump like that, the team is just not as good as the Hellboy side. So even if they get a couple pickoffs, Doctor can still TP in and fly in and do a lot of damage. Ophelia heal, Ophelia astrolabe. It's so hard to deal with, honestly. So. And even if that looked like a really good jump to them, I think they had to not take it either way and just try and get that mark onto Sandwave and hope to find some pickoffs after that with the ulti and then give up the outer towers. They can't do much about it, so they have to play this very defensively.
Here we go to Congo now, as there is the Grimoire finish now on Dr. Repulsor here.
But the thing about the item Grimoire though is it's not that you can't use 6 spells and then it all adds up. It's the last spell you use. That's where you get the extra damage.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's a little more like that's what I was kind of getting at. Like with where Doctor stands right now with his mana use of 100 for his W and his Q, as you mentioned, 35%, so it's 35 damage assisted. Beforehand, it was just 15% damage increase, just raw. However, that was also on the ability damage itself. So,
exactly.
Yeah, it's like that. That's what I'm saying. It would be curious to kind of get some math. In fact, I'm sure like our designers would have put some math in there and to see like how it all played out here. But Balthazar feels at least that there is something to it, and the on use as well is kind of an interesting. That it's almost like the old Hellflower to an extent, where it amped the damage that you dealt to them when you applied it to them. So being able to jump in and amp your damage by 20% straight up is pretty nifty, and he's going to use it right here to, well, he didn't actually use it, but it wasn't necessary to kill Lodestone.
Well, it's not, wait. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's the activation of it, too.
Ah, okay, so if he, yeah, okay. I didn't know that. I just thought it was the thing with your next attack, that's how it changes. Okay, so if you activate it,
yes.
does it then work on the ulti?
So exactly. So you activate it, and then it does like what it did before, but 5% more. So it does 20% more damage on everything that you do.
So I just haven't bought it, so I haven't tried. I didn't realize that effect. So yeah, it's all the new patches. So yeah.
So that gives it a little more warrant once again of like, okay, maybe there is actually something here.
So it's a little bit, I guess, yeah. But I still got the. Someone still told me that it doesn't work on the ulti, so I'm curious whether that still doesn't work or it might work.
No,
this effect that you activate.
I am. Oh, so you're talking about like 20% increased on the ultimate?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that works. I think that
I
would
would think
work.
so too.
Yeah.
So.
I think it was the passive that would not work, which makes sense. Because, yeah, I mean, that would be ridiculous if you use, like you said, like 2,000 mana flying across the map, and then that's plus, I don't even know.
700 or something.
700 damage, yeah, I mean, that's just absurd. So, don't think that works. But, again, the point is Balthazar has it here, and, you would think that he's done at least his own research on it, and clearly he feels comfortable enough to pick it up in a very important game here. When he could have easily gone, more of a typical, honestly. Something like the Hellflower, the Sheep Stick, and those would have just been fine.
For sure.
So
could have went Hellflower into Shrunken Head, and that would have. I think that might be better, honestly, but he likes this, and we'll see. It's working out so far. Well, I still think it's to the lineup and they are forcing these fights right now that are just in their favor, because the lineup is just stronger at this point. They need that mark onto Sandwave before they take fights on Legion side, and they haven't waited for that. They took them earlier, and BMG is capitalizing off of that right now, and also pushing the base. So after this pause, I would assume.
Yeah, no mock yet on Sandwraith. Coming up to 20 minutes now, obviously a little longer than they would have liked here, but you can definitely thank 3 deaths to that here on Pro Bus. He's been getting caught a couple of times, and so he's getting close to it, but the fact that they're already starting to siege the base, as you mentioned now, that's got to be concerning, no doubt, for Fresh. So here we go. The middle tower going to take some damage. You see Sandwraith now, he has that Mirage to use if a fight does break out. But actually, BMG is going to do a little bit of a fake fallback initially. See if they go back all the way. Ooh, I like this, by the way. Ophelia gets that Gnome's Wisdom again, especially with the new aura. They're now giving the magic armor to teammates as well as armor. I think that alone is like honestly reason to really consider it a almost every game item. I really think so. I mean that we stress how important our items are. Why not magic armor as well? So
for sure, it seems very strong.
Oh, jump right here. Andromeda, excuse me, going to swap out. She is going to die as a result of that, most likely. But Voodoo Puppet on a Doctor Repulsor. Is it enough damage? Yes, it is. He goes down. But that token, of course, going to bring him up. Andromeda stays alive, by the way, for just a little bit longer. He does go down in the end. Sandwraith, again, he is so squishy at this phase in the game. He is going to be picked off by Boxy. And everybody ultimately stays alive on BMG. They got the token, but they got 3 deaths in return to BMG.
Yep. Huge fight for BMG. They weren't able to kill the Ophelia before she got all her heals off, so that's unfortunate. If you go for a tiger like her, she survived for like 50 HP, you have to make sure that you kill her before she uses her heals, else you should not go for her. And they did here, and it didn't pay off for them. So again, they're forcing these fights when they really shouldn't. So I think they haven't really stopped up to really think about when is our lineup the strongest, when are we supposed to do something, and instead they're just, forcing fights, and it's not working for them.
And that's going to be a melee Rax destroyed here. As there we go, you see the energy field even going down just in case, so Fusen being very cautious there of a fight breaking out, and good use of it as he actually gets ported back too, so good distraction, and in the end, again, the melee Rax, the objective completed there by BMG. But Fresh, by all means, is definitely sticking in this game and going to try to see what they can make happen here if they are down, but not out just yet, especially this being the third and final game here. Want to give it all the chances they got, but they're definitely in a pretty difficult spot. Now, that Mach is finally going to be finished here on Probusk before another fight breaks out, you'd figure, so that's going to be positive, at least, that they have to look forward to.
500 more gold, yeah. But at this point, it might be a couple fights too late, honestly, for it to really have the impact you wanted. When he was 360 GPM with a 2-0 and 1 score, I mean, that was when it was looking really scary, because he could have gotten it really early. It didn't seem like so long ago that he had 3,000 gold, or it seemed like a long time ago where he had 3,000 gold and not the sword, and was really closing into having it at a quick timing here. But those couple of fights here hurt them, and BMG is now ahead by a large margin, and looking to build off of that. Also a Rax ahead, so it's looking good for them. Of course, they do have the comeback heroes with this Sandwraith here. We've seen it before, where they lose double Rax and then they stay in the game for another 25 minutes and almost manage to turn it around, so don't count them out yet.
Yeah. Interesting item pick up on more access here. Not that it's bad by any means. I mean, Soul's Bark again, especially with the change here, eventually even the Demonic, but good item to have still. But he had the Mighty Blade before he picked it up, so I guess maybe a change of heart or just wanted a little bit of life there.
Yeah, sometimes when you're really far ahead and you have a lot of stats and you're hard to kill, just getting those armor order items is just the way to go. It just keeps everyone alive compared to getting a shrunken head that only keeps you alive. So this is just, we want to stay alive, all of us, and then turn whenever they've used all their burst. And that's what they're going for here. So I like the change of item choice here.
There you go, that Null Stone, the Glowstone now coming out here for Dr. Repulsor, so also that finished. The bottom tower going to be easily destroyed. Is that the last tower? It sure is. As the top one is down as well. So, of course, they already got the middle Rax taken care of. Not going to go to the base just yet. Very likely going to wait for another Kongor, and obviously makes sense here for the Hellborn team. They have pretty good map control right now. Again, they don't want to wait too long, but they still have time here before they're feeling panicked themselves. But that Mach on Sandwraith now, so Probusk ideally should start recovering in farm a little bit at least. Now, I don't know if Probust ever really was a huge fan of that Restoration Stone, but I know Resto Stone, again, it did get changed a little bit, arguably nerfed. Now the effect is still there of restoring all your cooldowns, but like your teammate being Imba like, does he feel that it's not worth it anymore, or would he still go that Resto Stone build?
I haven't talked to him about that, so actually not too sure. Oh, top lane.
Yeah, that's a big kill, actually. That's a streak stopper right there.
700 gold and a lot of experience, so a huge kill for them. I'm not sure if BMG can really do anything with this, since he is dead for a long time. Raxus is looking. Oh.
They found it, wow. Raxus, he is in trouble right here. He's going in, though. Pops the Arcane Shield, actually got something to activate it. Swap from Andromeda, not going to save Magnus, though. He goes down. Lowstone Shadowstorm, however, exposed on Kinesis, but he gets over the ledge with the tablet, and he's kiting away the Sandwraith right here. In fact, look at this. Sandwraith is still chasing. Is it going to be enough? Keeping him slowed down, just out of range with a Mock. Oh, but the Desert's Curse will get him, but down goes Sandwraith. Also does Moraxis, but the payback indeed, and now Andromeda on the run. Lowe's still going to do what he can and maybe save, but if he goes in, then he's dead too. So Andromeda will fall. And Puppet Master, he comes in, but just gets there, unfortunately, a little too late. So different guy did buy back, by the way. Or maybe that was from earlier, actually. But, yeah, that was from earlier. But anyways, one fight there again by BMG, despite, well, maybe not, actually. I guess they did lose 3 in the end.
Yeah.
Doctor before.
They thought they had a sure kill on, so Moraxis there after, the kill on Doctor, and they wouldn't fight it, but they used a lot to kill the Doctor, so it was definitely risky to kill the or go for the Moraxis pick off there. And I think all in all, the game has not changed too much, so maybe in favor of BMG to keep taking that fight, and even without the Doctor after he was killed. So at least Sandwraith did kill off the I can't remember who it was on the ledge up at the Ancients, and then getting Mark right after, so that's good for them that he got those 2 kills at least. Now he has a Mighty Blade, he's gonna go for the Shrunken Head. I believe, at least.
Yeah, that would probably be the safe assumption. Again, the Ice Brand and that Frost of Skull, although I don't know, yeah, that's been kind of been interesting kind of hearing reactions on that item too, and we were even kind of just talking a little bit about last game, but having that effect now of the use is interesting, but it did get nerfed itself a little bit, so curious what the ultimate opinions are of that item, but another case of wait and see, I'm sure.
I'll say though, this game Fusion has done a really good job of putting wards down, and really offensive wards that's been spotting them. They had one inside their base here earlier and one on the top lane that showed that they could go for the puppet gank up top. And also right now, I mean, he has one on the big hill, one in the mid lane here as well, so it's really hard for the Fresh here to move out and do something. All of them are sitting in their base waiting for mid lane to push in so they can push it back out again. Now they might look to try top here, which is actually the only place where BMG doesn't really have that much vision, so Proxy playing it really careful.
Yeah, got only having 1 tower kill at 27.5 minutes in. Never in a good spot if that is the case, and that's the case of Fresh right now. So, going to make do with obviously what they got, but it is a difficult task. I will say, getting the Gnome's Wisdom on Ophelia, and again, it's I personally think at least it's a great item to have. But the upgraded version, I don't know if that's going to be something that we see on Ophelia, as she's not necessarily going to be taking advantage of that on-use effect. But now. Does it increase? Well, let me double check that, because does it actually increase the aura effects too? It does.
I think it does. Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, so yeah, it does a little bit. So I guess you could warrant it for that maybe, but that'd probably be a late game. At that point. But,
yeah, probably.
A little bit of buff.
It's pretty strong. I mean, I've always been a fan of gnomes and certain heroes. Something like a Polywalk has been a fan of that on that hero in the past, because he uses like 1200 mana or 1500 or something in no time, and then getting what it was in the past, like 10-15% of that as an extra life total. That's a lot. Yeah. But now it's 30% from it, so that's a lot more. So
well, the Jade Spire is even it's 45% actually with the 45, Jade Spire.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then if you activate it and hit a huge Q off it, that's pretty good. So, but it's still a lot of gold on that hero, so it might be too much, honestly. But it's funny to think about. The Gnome's Wisdom in itself is really strong, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
How many people are gonna upgraded to J-Spire. That's gonna, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But Gnomes for sure is really strong.
Yeah, I like that about it. It actually, to me, that's what an upgrade should be about. It's like you don't need it to. It's not like the actual finish. It's like it's there for luxury more so. Of it really, if you feel like it makes sense. But yeah, if you just want to stay on Soul's, Gnome's Wisdom, that's fine. I think Soul's Bork, as I was going to example there, is kind of the same way. It's Soul's Bork and the Demonic. I mean, you can just sit on a Soul's Bork, and that's just fine. You don't need to finish a full Demonic, but we'll see if Moraxis does that here.
I'm a little bit curious because it still says in the description it doesn't stack with items like Abyssal Skull. But Abyssal Skull still, I guess it's only the mana regeneration effect that shouldn't, because the Abyssal Skull gives normal armor, whereas the Gnome's Wisdom gives magic armor. So I can't see why you shouldn't have both on the same team.
Well, so the armor, the physical armor does not stack, but the magic armor does stack with things like a Mystic Vestment and things like that.
Yeah, okay, I guess +2 normal armor, yeah, that's true.
I think it's a normal armor that doesn't.
But it's only +2, so might not still be out of the question to see both on the same team, honestly, because I think it's more likely picked for the magic armor as well here, and the end of the heal after spending mana.
That's true, yeah.
Both items, they don't cost that much, so it's not out of the question to see both items on the same team in one game.
Absolutely, and yeah, obviously the other benefits of the Abyssal Skull, the lifesteal being a big one for the melee at least. So, I mean, this Hellborn team, probably not, a great, crazy good pickup for them, but yes, I could see that being a possibility for sure, though. Moving forward here. Looks like a headset issue, but going to be good to go. Again, guys, this could line up pretty well. We got about 20 minutes or so before our next series is supposed to start. Obviously, they are going to wait until this one finishes here, but we had a pretty good pace of this one so far. So we got game number 3 here, BMG versus Fresh. The following one, Sync versus Complexity, will be happening later today. Wait. He said second. That was a mistake. All right, so as soon as Fresh is good to go, then we will be good to go as well. So yeah, a little unfortunate that there was one hero, especially that electrician, the changes that he got that I was actually excited to possibly see, but it did hit me that on Thursday, that when I was bringing it up, again, Catlamine reminded me that actually he's not in tournament rules, so that might be for good reason, though. I know Zlap, with his streaming, he's had some strong opinions about it being pretty powerful. I don't know if you got the chance to try it out, but
yeah, I think it's pretty good. I like the change, honestly. It feels really strong, of course, but you can do whatever you want at the same time as locking down a target for so long. It's really strong. I haven't watched Snap stream too much lately here, so I'm not really sure if he finds it's just cancerous or something, but it seems like a strong hero now. Interesting, at least. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, the static grip change, it definitely opens up a lot more to the hero. Obviously, that was a pretty downside to it, the fact that it almost became useless later in the game because you had to sit there channeling, and that would never realistically happen. So, but now you can do that pretty freely, and that's.
Remember in the past something you sometimes did? You bought the blink into the Shrunken Head, and then you blinked onto the opposing team's carry, and then you disabled him for 5 seconds. That was kind of your contribution sometimes.
Yeah.
But of course, it's a lot of gold spent into just that for one hero. So.
Now you don't need either one of those, and you can do that just fine.
Yeah.
Granted, if they have a Shrunken Head up, of course you can, but.
Yeah. You can always be stunned for sure, but now you have the option to sidestep something like Pyromancer stuns or whatever. So definitely put yourself in the right place to, get the full channel off.
Yep. But again, not seen in tournament rules currently, so got a little too much of a redesign there that they felt was worth to take it out for now. But seeing down the line. Oh, Lodestone, yeah, he's going on a Kinesis, gets it a half-life right there, but Kinesis tablets over the ledge, gonna be fine. Lodestone now exposed, of course. He's dropping it. Dr. Impulsor will eventually fall down there. Magnus, he does chase down Kinesis actually to get the kill. A lot of distraction, though. Meanwhile, Puppet Master gets picked off. Samwraith, he's kind of on the run this whole time. Andromeda goes down, and now Samwraith at half-life off to the side. Uh-oh, he's going to be seen
Spotted.
right there. Yep, he got spotted by the creeps, and he's going to be picked off. He does have a buyback. Eruption coming out. There's the Voodoo Puppet as well. Down goes Doctor. He's going to come right back up, though, of course. And now the Voodoo Puppet being used. Puppet Master, he's lost a lot of his burst damage. In fact, he's going to be gone, and he goes down. Vote to concede coming at it. Looks like Bad Monkey Gaming as down goes Sandra. And that should officially do it. Yep, BMG is going to be victorious here, and they take the series 2-1 over Fresh. So, very impressive performance from them. Tell took 4-0-15 on Ophelia. That's a good stat line there.
Yep, well, it's impressive play. I mean, they had a huge advantage in terms of the lineup from like minute 10 to 20. Just no matter how the game kind of went, just because of how they